Today I'm going to be talking about juvenile delinquency. What is juvenile delinquency? What do we understand by juvenile delinquency? How can we help our children to stay clear of delinquent acts? What are the signs? Those are some of the things that we'll be discussing today in this course, juvenile delinquency. Juvenile delinquency means acts, criminal acts, illegal acts engaged in by underaged children, either children or teenagers, underaged individuals. Juvenile delinquency refers to illegal criminal acts engaged in by underaged individuals, meaning our children and our teenagers. What are some of these criminalities that we are referring to? One, stealing. Two, cheating, bullying, fighting. Then let's come to the sexual sins, sexual delinquents. Can talk about rape, sexual abuse of all kinds. You find children abusing, engaging in sexual abuse, abusing their other children. You find older children bullying younger children. These are all distasteful. Where you find children engaging in robbery, whether armed robbery or stealing, those are delinquent acts. There is no parent of a delinquent that is ever happy to to own up in public. I remember at a parenting seminar that I facilitated recently, I at a point asked parents of bullies to raise up their hands. Trust me, nobody dared to. I've done that in quite some instances, trying to help parents see the need to help their children to stay off all kinds of delinquency because they can't be proud outside to own up to the fact that their children are delinquents or are bullies in this instance. So these are some of the acts that we need to help our children to rise above. We need to help them develop the self-control, the self-discipline to stay off. Our children don't need to cheat. Let's not pressure them into cheating because failing honorably always remains the best route. We can help them to study hard. We can encourage them. We can provide the enabling environment. We can get employment of teachers outside of school to help them to be better. But they must see cheating as a criminality they shouldn't be engaged in. I've talked about sexual abuse. Why would a teenager, why would a child be involved in abusing another? You find that there are certain schools, they even say there are traditions in certain schools. After they have written their last paper in the WAEC exam, they ambush the girls and then they rape them. These delinquent acts are not acceptable. Some other delinquent acts here that I have is drug abuse. The drug use in this society, as in our society as of now, is on a very high side. Children even abuse substances. All kinds of substances are being abused. You'll be shocked at the list. This gum, this Vosti gum that shoemakers use, some would sniffing spirogyra in gutters, in stagnant waters. Some would put urine in bottles for days and then they sniff the is it pungent smell now? Abi potent smell. It's horrible. We need to be able to help our children. Some of the abuse, the juvenile things, juvenile. Some of the juvenile acts that I have here is gambling. This is a modern day challenge because gambling has been wrapped in all kinds of fancy ways. It's advertised, showing younger people dancing and ecstatic. A while back, I passed by a gambling site, and the ages of those that I could see inside the gambling room was very saddening. They are young teenagers. These teenagers have been cajoled, have been deceived in seeing gambling as a shortcut to wealth. Money earned through gambling is not wealth. It is not wealth. So let nobody deceive our children. Then unfortunately, I have these other points here, beating of parents. Do you know in this day and age we have children that are beating their parents? I got told by a parent one time asking for counsel. her son beat her and held her hostage for 4 hours. That is very sad. And the popular saying that as you lay your bed, so you lie on it remains true till date. If you want to have your peace of mind intact, you need to be intentional on the way you raise your children. Juvenile delinquency is something we should help our children to stay clear of. Don't be permissive about their acts of misbehavior. You see it and then you begin to make excuses for them, saying they are still young, they will outgrow it, and things like that. Some of us see it and then we just focus on spiritual, we say it's a spiritual attack, we focus on that. For every everything about life, there's a physical side, there's a spiritual side. If you're handling anything spiritually, then you face it also physically. You must show your faith by your actions. Help your children to rise above juvenile delinquency. Some of us, our neighbors, our colleagues, people that come across our children, come to inform us about some things our children get into outside the house, but we don't believe them. We say, I trust my son too much. My child cannot do that. I trust my daughter. We get blinded by the love we claim to have for these children. Let the love you have for your children compel you to help them to be better. Let that love compel you to ensure that they contribute positively to the society. Very saddening one that I want to mention here too is the killing of siblings and parents. You have juveniles that kill their parents these days, that kill their siblings. The issue of a juvenile killing the sibling usually arise from sibling rivalry, when we are partial in the way we handle issues between our children, when we show preference and love for one above the other, then you are building a very dangerous situation where a child can turn against the older sibling or the younger sibling, and then some children turn against their parents and they kill them. These are some of the juvenile situations that I'm mentioning here. When teenagers are younger, many of us make the undue mistake I mentioned earlier to say that they are still young, and we overlook many of the things they do. Unfortunately, before you know it, they are all grown, long hands, long limbs, and taller than you, with ox voices and beards everywhere, hair under the armpits, and all that. And then you are expecting magic. You are expecting them to behave above the way that you have raised them. You are expecting them to behave better than the way you have raised them. That is magic, and I don't think it's going to happen. So you have to put in so much in the foundational years of your children's upbringing. That's the early years. Some of us, we are tolerant when they bring other people's things home. We overlook, we turn the other eyes. That is when to start making an impact on our children. So I want to say, why do children get into juvenile delinquency? Why do our children engage in delinquent acts? There are several reasons that can be responsible. One here, I said lack of social and moral training, which is what I've emphasized at the beginning. The training of our children. Help your children learn how to relate with other children appropriately. Don't let your child be the child that will want to play with his toys alone and then still fight for another person's toys when the tables are turned. Help your children to learn social values. Help them to be upright morally. Lack of communication. When we don't communicate well with our children, it can lead them to delinquent acts. When they have to get attention from outsiders, it can lead them to acts of delinquency. So communication is ever so important. Communication is important in every relationship. For our children to turn out well and stay above delinquency, we need to engage with them constantly, regularly. Broken family units. The broken family unit will not benefit our children. Remember, when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. In this instance, our children are the grass that will suffer. So let's be more patient and tolerant with each other. The situations around is very challenging, and then as we grow up, we begin to form all kinds of we see ourselves in different lights, and we things that we had hitherto tolerated begin to be very irritating. Let's be more tolerant for the sake of these children who are the grass that will suffer if the family unit is broken. Children from broken family units are more prone to be distracted, they are more prone to engage in juvenile delinquency. Another set of another reason Another reason why our children engage in juvenile delinquency is lack of finances. Let's teach our children contentment. When our children lack contentment, they can be attracted. They can be attracted by the rewards that others will promise them if they get into delinquent acts.